people? Welcome back to the Slip and Dip Podcast, episode number 31. I am Matthew Wells. Alongside me, as always, Kendrick Johnson. Man, we are on the heels of the UFC's first fight card in mainland China. It was overnighter card for us here in the States. I managed to make it through it, somehow barely. We'll talk about that in a second. But this episode, very special episode for us. It's going to be our first double guest, both boxing guests. So it's a boxing episode. It's a Slip and Dip podcast where we will dabble in both. This is the first time we've had two boxing guests on one episode.
Dabble in UFC, boxing, and entertainment. No telling who we going. We're trying to expand the show. Yeah. That's why we say send us your thoughts and your ideas. We're willing to listen.
We'll never know where we're going to take you guys. I am a little bit under the weather this week, but we're pushing through, man. We're pushing through. So our guest we have, Miss Mikaela Meyer, her second appearance on the Slip and Dip podcast. She's got a fight coming up at the Garden on December 9th. Very soon, 2 weeks away. And Mr. Derrick James, the world-class trainer of Mr. Errol Spence and Jamel Charlo. So we'll talk to both of them here in just a few minutes. But first, let's talk about this fight card, man. Let's talk a little bit about this fight card. I guess the biggest storyline is obviously Michael Bisping, just 3 weeks removed from his title loss to GSP, where he took a lot of damage, got choked out, comes back 3 weeks notice, because Anderson Silva has USADA issues, to step up against Kelvin Gastelum.
Fight the young man. It's a young man's game. I say it all the time. Saw what happened. Saw the 25-year-old fight the damn near 40-year-old. Damn near 40-year-old didn't know where he was at.
Yeah. It was clear that Bisping, he wasn't motivated.
No, he looked way worse 3 weeks later. I was there at GSP. He did not look like your average 40-year-old. He had a dad bod this weekend against some GSP. That dude was cut and motivated.
Yeah, it was one of those things. It was like you could kind of feel that he didn't have the pressure of the title on him, I guess. But I think that made him too relaxed. Too, I guess, lackadaisical.
Was a win-win for everybody. He got paid. Kelvin gets to move up because I know Kelvin's really a welterweight, but if you barely make it 185, I don't know how you're going to make it 170. He's the Mexican version of Johnny Hendricks, but he's still in his prime.
Yeah, you know me about weight cutting, man. If you're struggling to make that, he's not very disciplined with his diet.
Hey, we still want you on the show. Maybe you can tell us what you eat, Kelvin.
No, I mean, that's just from all accounts I've heard, and he said it himself just today earlier on the MMA Hour. He was talking about if I get a nutritionist, I'll make 170 again. So it's just I know it's tough, man. It's a lot of weight to cut, Hey, fighters like food, man. So why you guys are not stripping with that? But I think the bigger thing is Bisping should not have been allowed to fight, man. He should not have been allowed to fight. He did initially have a 30-day suspension following that GSP fight, but for whatever reason, that just got thrown out the window, and he gets to slide in on 3 weeks time and get knocked out brutally. That was his worst since UFC 100.
Wow, this is Dan Henderson.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was the cleanest 1-2 knockout possibly of the year, I think. I mean, I don't think another one comes to mind that was that clean. There's been some clean head kick knockouts. There's been some, other crazy stuff, some spinning stuff, but a straight 1-2 like that, that's the cleanest one this year I can think of.
I'm glad for his sake and his family said that March will be the last time we see him in the octagon. He got nothing else to prove. He's got a top 10 resume.
Yeah, for sure. But I don't even want to see him in March. That's too soon. That's too soon. Let me steal one from my man Conor McGregor. These guys need time. These guys need time off. When their brains get rattled, these guys need time. And, he said all that stuff after Jose Aldo. Needs time away.
I'm actually pumped this weekend to check out The Ultimate Fighter. I'm one of the few people I think I've watched. I've watched most of 65% of the season. I got to watch the last 3. I've been actually watching the episodes, watching ladies. The fights have been actually pretty good. The interaction, the show is what it is, but the actual fights have been pretty legit. But I'm ready for this card to see some people get exposed. Eddie Alvarez, I think his time has come. Sergio Pettis, you're not ready. Alistair Overeem, you will get caught. And Jose Aldo, you are too old. And I can't pick out of my girl, Karate Hottie and Tisha. I like both of them. I think Tisha wins because it's gonna get to a technical, and she's the bigger fighter, and she'll be able to oppose her size because Carly Holly can actually fight at 105. And I think she's too small for those elite top 5 girls that have some size on them that can fight at 125 easily.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this card as a whole, man, 218. Damn good card.
I'm not in love with the prelims. You know that Bobby Cooper and that Mikaela fight might get crazy. Both them girls are wild.
Well, they're wild outside the cage.
Yeah, both those girls are wild.
They're not necessarily the best skilled.
What do you think about that, Felice and Courtney Casey? Like, they both think that people overlook them. They're both they both fight in the same battle, but different ways. Right. They fight the same battle.
No, I hate this matchup because I agree with them in a way, man. Courtney Casey, she just goes up there and wins. She doesn't, want to overly use her sexuality to get promoted better. She just wants to let her fights talk for that. And on the flip side, you got Felice, who's also doing it. But she's using her sexuality everywhere. It's like...
Seems like Felice is on her own hand. Cause remember we talked to her after she stopped that girl pretty
Yes, when I made her cry. Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate that. Yeah. That was great. Those pictures are all over the internet still. They're sitting there crying. And I was the one that asked the question and made her do it. So, yes, I do not feel very proud about that moment.
And Bobby Cooper, I get confused because she's a pretty lady. And it seems like I see more like glamour shots of her than actually her fighting shots, so I can get confused on her. Like,
there's nothing wrong with that,
I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying, are you a fighter or are you whatchamacallit?
She's a model.
Yeah, a model.
You can do both, man. You can do both. I think. There's some solid fights there. The main card itself, the main card as a whole is just fire. I do not like the placement of the Cejudo Pettis fight though. I wish that was before Alvarez and Gaethje. So that's my only gripe that I have. But other than that, man, damn good card. UFC 218.
Yeah, I'm ready to watch it. We gonna catch it. We gonna do it big and go to Hooters and watch it.
No, I don't go to Hooters and watch fights, man. I watch them right here, from the comfort of my own house.
Yeah, but it's just one time, man. We can grow the show, man. We can grow the show.
It's hard to score fights because I like to score fights when I'm watching them.
No, it's not. I score better than you, and I be eating wings while I'm watching the fights.
Bro, that's where you're wrong. See, you think you're scoring better than me, but you're really not. You're distracted by all these wings and drunk people yelling. I get to sit here in the house quietly and just hear the commentary of Joe Rogan and Aaron Cormier and John Anik, and even sometimes I turn them down a little bit in close fights. Because sometimes they do get by sometimes. But, it's hard not to. Especially when you have fan favorites in there. But, our favorite thing. We got to go back to the China card real quick. Our favorite thing that we always talk about, those shadowy figures.
With them losing ass records.
Those shadowy figures. Man, I got it pulled up right here. Look, there's all your shadowy figures. They went 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 on the evening. 4 and 6 for the shadowy figures. We did have a double shadowy figure matchup on the prelim. So, listen, the fight card itself for being on at what? It started at 2:45 our time here in Texas.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
It's a Slip and Dip podcast. I can't get an invite to Slip and Dip headquarters after hours, man.
We got to keep the neighbors happy. These walls aren't very thick. I'll just say that. But yeah, it was a good card, man. It kept me awake. The pacing of a fight pass only card is very good. So hopefully they keep that up. In the near future. It is what it is, man. 218 is gonna be a big one, but I think let's do this, man. Let's first get into our interview with Mr. Derrick James. And then we will follow that out with Mikaela Meyer. And that'll be episode 31 for your ears, people. Before we do that, though, follow us on Twitter. give the show a follow on Twitter at Slip and Dip Podcast. Follow Kendrick at Kendrick Johnson, and follow me at Mr. M Wells Art. And give us your feedback, guys. We want to hear from you. We want to know how you liking the show, who you want to see on the show. We're getting a lot of people every week, so we're just trying to make it happen for you guys. And I hope you enjoy these interviews. Derrick James coming right at you.
Yeah, if you don't know about Keep Under Your Mouth, you about to find out. Welcome to the Slip and Dip Podcast. The guy that gets my vote for Boxing Trainer of the Year, trainer of Earl Spence, one of the Charlo brothers and a host of others, Derrick James. Derrick, welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it. Happy to be here.
Give us some insight to your 2017, man, because you didn't got. Well, I won't say necessarily get, but you and Earl basically culminate what y'all been telling me for the last 3 years. Now everybody's in on the secret that he's the best 147 pounder in the world. And talk about working with Charlo, which has kind of got you some international fame to have two of the best fighters in the world in your stable.
Well, it's a great thing, man. Everything, came together. Earl and I have been working for almost 10 years. And, he's won everything, been a U.S. Olympian. So now it's just like him growing up and the maturation of our relationship, like him maturing, me maturing as a trainer. And, Jamel just come in and make it all better. Like it takes it to another level. So both of them work on a high level. They don't compete. They complement each other. You know what I mean? So, it's a good thing, man.
How's the fact that people starting to get it recognized everywhere? Like when I see in the fight, we can barely have a conversation because people start stopping you for pictures and interviews these days.
Yeah, man. Boxing is on the rise. The thing about what's funny about people talk about boxing as if it had went somewhere. I think those are people who wanted it to go somewhere. I mean, boxing has been here and it won't go anywhere. And I think the thing about it is that it's great to have two of the hottest boxers in boxing. And that's a big deal, man.
It's a pretty big deal, man. Absolutely. And I think, a lot of people are still, from what I can tell, it seems like a lot of people are still sleeping on Errol Spence, even though he's done everything, up to this point so far. I mean, what's it going to take for him to break through as like that next big star in boxing?
Well, I think he's already done that. I just think it's like the people who are the naysayers are the people who really don't have anything to do with boxing as a whole. These are fans who like other particular fighters. You know what I mean? But if you ask you ask Austin De La Hoya, you ask Max Kellerman, you ask Teddy Attis, you ask Freddie Roach, you ask any abundance of other top aficionados in boxing, they're going to say Errol Spence is the real deal. The only people who say he's not are the people who like one particular fighter or who are fans. So, are fans of these particular guys. Other than that, people are very insignificant when it comes to the big picture. You know what I mean? Like he's been a main event fighter for the past 2 years. He's sold many fights. I mean, for the past 2 years. I mean, he fought Chris Algieri at the Barclays Center. It was 10,000 tickets. He fought Leonard Bundle. He had 6.3 million people watch his fight. So when you think about it, see, these are people who don't matter because you think that's the most watched boxing match in the past 10 years. 6.3 million people watching the fight. So think about it. I mean, the people who are naysayers are people who are insignificant and don't matter at all. Because, as they say, numbers are telling the truth. Numbers are saying one thing in particular.
So talk about your preparation with you being in camp with Earl, getting ready for this big fight in January.
Yeah, man, he's fighting a very tough, formidable world champion. I mean, he's fighting Lamar Peterson, who's a guy who's very tough, very intelligent, and he's very crafty, So it's going to be a great task, a great match. I mean, a great chess match because they sparred many times before. So it's like now it's fight time. I mean, they're pretty good friends. But listen, I mean, El will fight me, so it doesn't matter about him being his friend. He'll fight his trainer if he could, So if I have something he wanted, he's going to fight me for it, So this guy, it'd be a great fight, man, good fight. It's going to be something that all the fans are going to really love to see because it's going to be a chess match, but the fight will break out. And so when the fight breaks out, I mean, what you say?
Oh, no, I'm so sorry.
So the fight will break out. When the fight breaks out, everybody listen. You better, it's going to be an amazing fight.
Give some people some insight on the fact that this is kind of, quote unquote, could have been a tune-up fight to get ready for Keith and going after the belts in 2018, but y'all took the hardest opponent out there. What was the thinking behind that? And give some people insight to Earl's mind, since we know he do more of his talking with his fist than he do verbally.
Well, I think that this fight with Lamar Peterson we would to say a tune-up fight is a disrespectful term to me. That's to say that this guy doesn't matter and he's insignificant, only but to help you get ready for the next guy. I think that this is not a tune-up fight. This is a fight that's very good. I mean, it was the best fight he could get for the guys who won. Nobody else really wanted to fight him. So, I mean, you let Keith get better, you let him get well, or whatever the case may be. And this is the best guy out there who is willing to take the fight. And so that's a good thing because he's a two-time world champ, and he's very tough. And you saw how he fought Danny Garcia. You saw what he did to Amir Khan. I mean, so, he's a tough guy. He's a real deal.
And what's some plans y'all have laid out for Earl in 2018? What's the ultimate goal?
I mean, listen, if I could control it, he'd be the undisputed welterweight champ of the world. And, I mean, he fight like 3 or 4 times. I mean, so, but I think he's going to get 3 in. Excuse me, I think he may fight about 3 times this year, man. So it's really good to stay busy and stay focused and stay hungry. And I think that's going to be a great deal for him.
Very cool. Derrick, can you give me a little bit of insight of what it's like been for you, being a former fighter and making that transition to a trainer? Like, what's been the biggest challenge for you in doing that over the years?
Hey, man, listen, well, there's several stages you go through. Initially, you work with the fighters and you help them develop and you help them get better. And for me, my understanding changed. So, like, from being a fighter with boxing trainers years ago, would tell you to just do something. And they would be mad at you. My coach would slap me for not doing it, right? So, not saying that's the wrong way to handle a fighter, but I think that there's so many missing pieces in between you telling somebody to do it and slap it. You know what I mean? So, I think that for me, I want to show it to them or explain it to them as if they're a 2-year-old. I want them to show them exactly how to do it, show them the pros and cons, if they do it, don't do it. But the possibility, if you throw this punch this way, you do this, and you throw it that way, this will happen to you. So, and that's how I had to learn, because when you really understand every movement that you have to make in the ring, before I just would make the movement as a fighter. But when you have to teach it, you have to really understand it. For me, everybody don't have to understand it because most people never boxed before. But for me, I grew a little bit more and found a different understanding for every move, every step, every piece and bit that I know now as a trainer I didn't know as a fighter. And so then you go from that stage to now you're out in the public's eye, and you were the guy that everybody would be coming up to. Now you're not the guy. So it's like you have to be able to accept your role because you're not the athlete anymore. You're the trainer, and you got to play your role. You don't want to try to stand out and shine more than your fighter, so you play the back, man. You're on the humble, because that's your work that everybody's seeing, So for me, it's about, man, I'm getting tip-top shape because I have to do a lot. I have to get in shape like a fighter, man. I have to throw a lot of punches. I have to move around. I have to emulate the fighter that is actually fighting. So it's not easy. It's a very hard task to do. But listen, man, I chose to do it, so I'm on it,
Yeah. Gotcha. So work in progress. Go ahead, Kenny.
Give us some insights on how to feel the fact that you came in on 2 points of both of their careers. So, like, you kind of basically took Jermell Charlo to another level. Like, he's knocking people out, knockout of the year candidate every time he get in the ring, and you've been there from day one from Earl. So the fact that people see your versatility as a trainer, is that pretty cool? The fact that everybody's giving you that props and stuff after what you accomplished in the last year and a half, working with these 2 great fighters.
Man, it's phenomenal, because you see the work and you see the difference. Like, so people have seen Errol Spence the way Errol Spence is, but the thing about it, they don't know how good he really is. Because the only way you know how good he really is you see him pushed, and Kell Brook pushed a little bit, but he couldn't push all the way because he broke, right? So, but like the guy we see in the gym every day, all his skills, you don't get to see him fight because when he starts to show them, he knocks guys out or he hurts them or whatever the case may be. But Jermell Charlo, I think, is the true work and true progress of to what type of trainer I am, because he's a guy who was with another trainer for years, a boxing move, and he had a great jab, but he didn't put anything behind the jab. He didn't have any knockouts. But he was a good boxer. So I took what he already had, a good boxer, and added him, trying a little bit more about angles, intelligence, talking about every move he makes in the ring, what it means. And I work with him on his defense, and I work with him on his power, man. I help him develop his power and teach him how to get hard shots and how to punch harder. And we see that's been the big factor in his career lately, is him knocking everybody out and him being so big anyway and rotating all those punches perfect. And, man, you get a lot of good knockouts. That's what we've been able to do, get knockouts.
Which knockout do you like better, the Lubin or the Hatley? Because they both were brutal.
Hey, man, they were both brutal knockouts, man. But you know what? I don't know, man. I mean, both of them were, man, listen, man. Charles Hatley knockout was, like, sensational, right? Because not only did he knock him out, but Charles Hatley knocked down the guy in the corner who was taking pictures, like the cameraman. So it was kind of crazy. But then you got Lubin, who both of them were talking trash, man. And that's why you just go in there and just be quiet. I mean, because as rowdy or as much as the edge as everybody likes to say Jamel and Jamal Charlo have, before the fight, they do not talk any trash. They will not say one thing negative about the guy. Not one thing. So, because J-Rock was talking trash to Jamal also. But, with Jamel knocking, I got to say, man, both knockouts were very gratifying because Charles Ellis from Dallas and Lubin, so I can't say which, man. I love both of them, to be honest. Hey, listen, those knockouts are like your kids, man. You can't choose which one you like the most, right? Hey,
what about the shirt, like man? What about the shirt, man? That shirt was too funny. Give our listeners some insight to why you had the shirt and how Charlo was so hyped up. And he's like, "What about coach? What about coach?" You just standing like a model.
Yeah.
Keep running your mouth.
Well, you know what? What's funny is that Jamel has this great business mind, this great marketing mind. So he creates these T-shirts, all these ideas. He comes up with these things, man. That was his idea, not me. I just had the shirt on, right? And he knew. And I told him, I'm gonna show him because I'm really like, we all get very emotional because we work out, we train hard, we don't talk any trash. So these guys talk trash, and so by them talking trash, that only fuels more to the fire. That's why when people talk, listen, if you think Jamel is like this guy, you should see Errol. I mean, Errol is he's like, what happened to Kell Brook was because everything his trainer was saying and everything that all the other people were saying. So in his mind, he felt like he had to prove a point, man. And these guys, you teach them how to punch correct, man. So they're punching with 140 pounds of pressure, 150, 60 pounds of pressure every time they punch. So you think about that's how much force is on those punches. So it's great, man. I love it, man. I love it. Just keep running your mouth.
You think that's a little bit kind of like overblown when guys get, they get into it and talking to trash? I mean, you think like that's necessary to build up certain fights, or is it just all a little bit overstated?
Man, I think sometimes it can be unnecessary. I mean, I know that, everybody feels like they got to love themselves and, hype themselves up, I guess. But you see how more recently it hadn't worked because the guy that fought Daniel Jacobs, which I know that guy, he talked Cuba, he talks a lot of trash, man. You got Erickson Lubin, you got Charles, all these guys who were these second-tier fighters who talk trash. You realize, man, you don't have to really do that when you're on this level. Listen, all you just put two good guys in the ring, they're going to fight. So just let the fight happen. They can talk all they want. That's only fuel to the fire, man, for some guys. So it's okay.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I think it's just it's just funny to see sometimes, in MMA, we cover both, boxing and MMA. We see a lot of times in the MMA game, it seems like there's too many guys out there that are doing trash talk game wrong. They're trying to inject too much into it, and you can tell it's not genuine.
You're right.
So it's
right,
just
right.
I don't know. It's just sometimes it seems like to
It's
me.
laughable. It's comical.
Yeah,
It's comical.
yeah. I mean, you can tell. You can tell. I think when it's genuine and when it's fake, and I think the guys that are
Yeah,
doing it with
definitely. Yeah.
fake is, they're just trying too hard. I think.
But but you know what's funny is a lot of people really believe in themselves in a situation. So they're talking trash, but they really believe that stuff, man. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what it is. I mean, they're talking trash, and they really think they are the guy. I mean, if you look at Erickson Lupin, right? Everybody around him pumped him up, hyped him up. Mike Tyson, all of his Gary Jonas, all of his people pumped him up, right? His trainer did. But what happened? The reality of it is, Mike Tyson was a phenomenal fighter. But he's not a boxing trainer. It's two different things. All the other people, they just saw the end result. They didn't see him dropping his hands and doing this wrong or doing that wrong. They didn't see that. You know what I mean? So it's like you got to have an eye to be able to watch stuff and be able to be just watch and see what the guy does wrong or what the guy does right. And you know what I mean? And you generally try to stay away from everything he does right. And so, yeah, man, I mean, they all told him he was great. He was Mike Tyson told Jermell Charlo, he said, we were in Vegas at the Mayweather fight, he said, which one of y'all gonna fight Lupin? He's like, man, I am. He said, Lupin gonna knock you out. Okay.
So what was Lupin? What did he do after the fight, Derrick?
I don't know, man. I was in Dallas. This guy said, I'm the one that brought Lupin to Mike Tyson. Lupin has an extra switch. He's going to click. He's like he's not there. He's like, he's just going to go in there, man. I like Charlo, but, Charlo's Lupin's going to knock him out. I said, okay, man, that's what you're supposed to say. That's how you're supposed to feel. I never said anything to anybody about nothing. He said, we're going to go in and win a fight, man. I say he's spawning a better fighter. Help him get to another level. You're not spawning anybody on that level and help him get to the level he's on, so, but it's okay, man. I mean, it's life, man.
No, what was he doing after the fight in the locker room?
Hey, man, I heard he was crying his heart out, man. You really realize what happened. I mean, he's still a young kid, you know what I mean? It's a very emotional situation. You know what I mean? Man, he talked about how he's going to make the fight look easy. He said a lot of stuff. So, you got to eat that, man. You know what I mean? Like, people, so this whole thing he had of Showtime was all over and loved him. And, man, so it's kind of crazy. Then, his friends are fighting. I got hit in the head with a chair. Jamal got hit in the head with a chair. I cut man got hit in the head with a chair. And really, it was the same chair hit all three of us. It was crazy. Just like the bullet that shot Kenny hit everybody. That thing really hit three people, man. What the hell? I mean, it did. And but man, but it's like that's why you this should be a lesson. Just be quiet, man. Just go in there and fight. It ain't about talking trash. I would see him on before, and he'd be like cool because he kind of like Errol or whatever. But then getting closer to the fight, he didn't want to speak to me. I'm like, hey, man, this is business. Then the fight day, I'm sure I see him now. I wonder what he's gonna say. Hey, man, just be quiet and fight, man. Shut up and fight. That's what they have to learn.
Keep running your mouth.
Just keep running your mouth. Listen, man, I love that T-shirt too. And look, boys, so funny about I love it so much. I can't even choose the right time to wear it. You know what I mean? What I'm saying? Like, we're gonna wear it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of crazy. I want to wear it, but I'm like, damn, man, it's like you got to find the perfect time to wear the shirt. I don't know when it is.
When might we see Charlo back in the back in the fall?
Hey man, I hope he fights like in February, or maybe March or whatever. But really February, I hope. I love to keep him busy. Let him get busy. Errol sparred like 19 rounds a day, man. So he's this is the first official day of training camp right here. So it's good, man. It's good work, man. We're gonna work. Got a lot of work to do, and it's great. And Jamel's gonna get back in there pretty soon. That's gonna be great, man. We're just gonna keep moving, man. Just keep keep pushing our issue, keep pushing our agenda, man.
You say he did 19 rounds on the first day of training camp?
Yeah, first day he did 19 rounds. Yeah.
What's the how high does that get up to?
40. Huh?
How many rounds do you guys work up to, or is 19 like around where y'all stay at?
No, that's where it just started. He just man. We're not gonna do that. We just gonna probably do about 12, 14. Okay. We'll do like 15 and 16. By fight time we'll be back up to we'll do 19 again.
Okay. It's a lot of work.
So we do about it varies. Like we do 14. Because we know he can do the work for 14. 19. So then we'll do like 14, 15. We always do more than the actual job entails.
Right.
And for him, he has to know he can go in there and push it to another level and go those rounds. But you saw him with Kell Brook when he had another switch, and Kell Brook didn't have another switch. Yeah.
So can your boy get an invite to the gym, man, so I can see y'all put in that work like usual?
Hey, man, I told you I'm going to get you in there, man. We going to get you once we get in there, man. He's like, he ain't ready to be seen right now because he's not where he wants. He can do 19 rounds, but he can't do what he wants to do. The way he wants to do, he's not in shape yet. So, that's why he's not in shape yet. You may see him, he looks physically fit, but he's not in shape yet. So once he gets in shape.
Gotcha. So sometime in December, I can come holler at y'all solo without all the extras.
Yeah.
You know how we do it low key on the west side of Dallas.
Yeah. There's no doubt, man. So how long y'all had the show, man?
This is our 31st episode. We've been doing what for how many?
Since like April.
Yeah, since about April or so.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Help us spread the word, man. Help us spread the word, man. We trying to the message. The goal of the show is to highlight people like yourself, Earl, and these fighters, and give the real. We trying to give you the real. As we know, you know how we've been talking. Me and Derrick have literally been talking at a fight about a certain situation, and we both know the answer. And people coming up to Derrick asking him completely false narratives. Am I correct?
Well, yeah, no doubt.
We trying to put the real narrative out there, so it ain't no speculation from XYZ site. Because as Derrick knows, people like to make up stuff, especially when it comes to the fight game in boxing.
Oh man, listen, they like this summer they had where Errol Spencer leaving Al Heyman to Errol Spencer's fighting this fight. So how can you leave this guy? People make up stuff just for the hell of it, and. Hey man, it is what it is, man. I don't even get into it, but it's kind of crazy. That's what I'll say.
You just gotta sit back and observe. I just let it all unfold.
Yeah, I see people on social media talking crap, man. I'm like, listen, man, don't worry about life. Is not about what probability or what probably would happen if they fight. Don't worry about it. Just let it happen. That's what You take the fun out. That's why I go into boxing, and I've learned from reading a lot of this social media stuff on Facebook and all these other things where, man, listen, man, you can't truly enjoy a boxing match if you go in there with an idea of who you want to win. If you go in there with I don't care, I just want to see a good fight, you're going to see a good fight. But if you go in there and your guy doesn't win, you're so convinced your guy, what is going to win, he doesn't win, and now you're upset. Man, listen, dude, you won't even be able to admire the greatness of the other guy. You're so fixed on wanting to get what you want to get. Just go in there and watch the fight. Just go in there. I don't have any preconceived ideas about boxing or any other sporting event, especially boxing, because I want to go in there and enjoy it as a fan, opposed to going there with a preconditioned idea of I want this guy, that guy to win. I really don't. Only time I'm gonna choose a guy is if it's an American fighter fighting somebody from any other country. I will always go with the American fighter, always. But if other than that, no, and I may not say that the American fighter is going to win. I'm just rooting for the American fighter. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah.
But I'm not. It's up to them to do their job because I'm gonna always go for the American fighter without a doubt, 100%.
Will you be adding anybody to your stable anytime soon? Or are you cool with keeping a small? Because some guys like having the big gyms and stuff, like my man Robert Garcia and them. Or are you gonna keep it with your guys and just keep doing what you're doing?
I like a small situation because it's personal. You know what I mean? And it's like, if I tell L I got time for him like I did 10 years ago, I tell Jamel I got time for him like I did 2.5 years ago, then what happens is this. I take on 4 or 5 new guys. What happens to my main guys, my 2 world champions? I don't have time for anymore. I've lied to them and told them this. Or what about the new guys that I brought on? I said, listen, man, I really don't have time for it. So I'm not so much about, like, if I got 3 or 4 more guys, I can make millions of dollars a year. But, I mean, I'm okay with where I am right now. You know what I mean? It's a good place, and it's going to grow. And I'm going to add on somebody else, and why not? You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, man, you know, I'm really kind of cool with it. You know what I mean? You know, if more better top-tier fighters come and say, listen, we want to work with you. Hey, man, I got some room for you. So, you know. But, but I'm just not. It's just too much. It's a lot of work you put into it. And it's like to stay on top, to perform on the top level is not really easy because, like I said, I mimic the fighters, and it's really hard. Like, even just Lamar Peterson fight, it's going to be a very tough training camp for me, because I have to stay on top of my game. I have to move like Lamar possibly move. I have to throw punches non-stop. I have to catch arrow punches. So it's not just so much about telling whispering in his ear, right? It's mimicking all the probabilities of the fight. So it's going to be very hard. Like Saturday, we worked out, man. That's probably the hardest day of boxing for me ever, like ever. I mean, like snot running out my nose, I'm moving around, I'm sweating. I mean, like, hey, man, that was the camp hadn't even started yet. You know, it's like, yeah, man, it's going to be tough, man.
And to end things on a positive note, how's it cool to like be popping up at Cowboy games? You on national TV on Turkey Day. I see y'all getting some shine. Y'all got more positive shine than the Cowboys did.
Hey man, listen. Well, you know, it's only one world champion in Dallas. Really 2 when Jamel is here. This is the winning team, and we understand that. And it's cool to be out there, man. It's cool to go out there and, shine a little bit, and let Dallas show some love to the guys, show some love to us. Because, I mean, listen, if you want to, like I tell people, if you want to get behind the winning team, you got to get behind us. I mean, I know you love football. I know you do. But, if your football team ain't doing so great, hey, listen, we're holding it down over here in the boxing gym, so, you really don't get to meet world champions all the time anyway, Unless you're living in Boston or, maybe Seattle. When somebody won, Boston or, somewhere like that, that's what the champions, that's what they are right now. But in boxing, we got 2 of them training in Dallas, man. That's how it is, man. We're happy about that.
In a city as big as Dallas, DFW, somebody's got to be winning something. So I'm glad you guys are holding it down in the boxing game.
Well, it's tough, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he's a quiet guy. He doesn't do a lot of interviews. He doesn't talk a lot. So, it's like I can't do more than he do. You know what I mean? So I work for Errol Spence. I mean, so I can't be out there and everything all over the place. And he's quiet. So I'm on the humble, too, I do this, for kids because I know him. You know what I mean? But, it's like you just got to be on the humble, man. You just got to really, my key is just to keep working, keep focusing on getting better, keep pushing myself to the next level so I can be better for my guys.
That's a perfect way to end things. Stay humble, and when you come at Team Spence or Team Charlo and Derrick James is involved, keep out of your mouth.
Just keep out of your mouth, baby. Listen, look, man. When I saw that shirt, I was like, "What the hell?" But see, Jamel told me about it. I was like, "What?" And I said, "Man, oh man, that's dope." Just keep out of your mouth. See, this is what's funny. What happened? So he got to order those shirts, right? The day he got the shirts, he never got to get them home because somebody broke in his car and stole them. Oh, wow. So they stole the box full of shirts. So he had to have them remade over and shipped to New York or whatever. And yeah, just keep running him out, man. That's like the dopest. Really, that's for any other sport, though. I mean, like, football, basketball, especially boxing, And I wear, and like I said, I love my Just Keep Running Your Mouth shirt, but I don't know when I should wear it or not, man. You know, so like I'm sure I'm gonna see somebody here who may see my shirt, may take offense to it, because somebody who's Jamel Farter from Dallas. But it's okay, man. Listen, man, if you don't run your mouth, you don't talk trash, you don't have anything to worry about.
And how can our fans follow you on social media? What can I get at you?
I'm just on Facebook, man. I'm not that fly, man. I'm an old whack dude. I'm 45. I'm not on Instagram and what all the other stuff is. I'm not on any of that Twitter, Facebook, man. So I'm old and cruddy. You know what I mean? So really, I'm not that old, but I'm not fly like everybody else is. So hey, man. So I just do that, man. That's about it.
And Facebook still got millions of people every day. All these teenagers,
right.
All these teenagers on the Instagram and stuff. So all these younger kids, younger generation use the Instagram. So I'm on Instagram.
Yeah, that's cool.
Facebook.
Yeah, it's cool. It's not Facebook's not too fast for me. I mean, I'm not not on it really that much. I might graze over the look. I'm not interacting. I'm not doing any of that really, but I will every now and then. So that's where you can find me on the Derrick D. James, and it's on Facebook. Derrick D. James. That's me, man. I mean, I'm not really, That's what it is.
Boom, there it is, man. I appreciate you taking the time out to join us on the show.
Yeah, we'll definitely be in touch, D.
Appreciate y'all having me on, man. Thanks, man. Hey, man, it's like listen, I was at the gym today. These kids came to spar right in from Houston and drove up. And the guy trying to say, man, congratulations. I was like, for what? He said, winning trainer of the year. I'm like, man, I ain't winning trainer of the year, man. What are you talking about, man? He's like, well, listen, man, we all know what time it is. We know you are. I said, listen, all I'm saying is I appreciate the thought, but at this point, we don't know anything. So, or if somebody people really do know, they just can't say. But, hey, man, listen, man, I don't know how this is going to go, but the guy congratulated me. I'm like, that was funny. Congratulations, coach. I'm like, for what? He's like, winning trainer of the year, man. I'm like, no, man, I didn't win that, man, They hadn't announced it. If they have announced it, I don't know anything about it. So whoever trainer of the year, he probably already knows already.
Hey, once official, we'll have you back on.
Well, look, there you go. Hey, listen, when it's official, put like this. When it's official, I'll be back on. Because if you look at it like this, there's no really other fighters. Really, Triple G has his own thing. His mystique is rubbing off, right? He's had 2 subpar fights, back to back. Really 3, because he didn't look that great fighting Kell Brook. His timing is off, man. I'm not gonna get it to him, but you got Terrence Crawford, but when it comes to like dramatic knockouts, beating people who they thought you were gonna lose, so everybody thought they were gonna lose to Kell Brook. A lot of people did. A lot of people thought Charles Hadley was gonna beat Jamel Charlo, and I thought Charles would have been a better, tougher fight because I know Charles Hadley. I've known him since he was a kid. I know if you let him get into the fight, he's gonna kick your ass. So you gotta not let him get into it. And everybody thought that Lubin was gonna, what he's gonna do to Jamel. So these guys are really shutting it down. So they're doing all the work for me, man. I love it, And I will see you guys after they make the announcement.
Sounds good to me.
All right, D. Thanks for joining us, man.
All right, later, man. Yeah.
All right, later.
Peace, bro.
Please welcome back to the Slip and Dip podcast. Once again, one of the best women boxers in the world, Mikaela. How's it feel to be getting ready to be on that big stage in NYC under the bright lights?
Hi. It feels great because obviously that's what I wanted when I turned pro. I wanted a bigger stage, and this is only my 3rd fight, but I'm going to be on an awesome card at a historical theater with some amazing fighters. So I'm really excited to be in New York too, because New York boxing fans are the best.
Absolutely. So, what do you know about your opponent? I see it's Nydia Feliciano.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know much. I don't know much about the girls that are pro in general. Like I'm still learning and figuring them all out. She is 9-8 with 3 draws. I think that's her record.
That's
So
correct.
definitely more experience, more pro experience than my last few opponents. So it's a step up in that sense, which is what I feel like I need anyway. So really all I know about her.
Okay. I'll tell you this. I actually watched a couple of her fights before we did this episode today, and yeah, I think there's a little bit of a skill gap between you two. I'll just say that. So,
I mean, I definitely agree. Like I said before, you can't top the experience that you gain in the amateurs, the level I competed at. So, but, I expect her to come and fight hard. There's one thing we learned, you don't underestimate anybody. So I expect her to come and fight hard for sure.
How big a deal is it to get another stoppage? Since you start turning pro, you've been getting girls out of there, or are you just content getting your hand raised?
No, I'm not content with getting my hand raised. I think that mindset left me in the amateurs. In the amateurs, you're content with getting your hand raised because there's not really a lot of knockouts. Your gloves are too pillowy and you have headgear on. So it's really a new mindset for me, and I like this mindset. Like, yeah, I want to keep getting stoppages. I want to end these fights, especially with girls that don't belong in there with me, or that I shouldn't be going the distance with.
Right.
Do you think they see you and they say, "Oh, she's just a model chick. She ain't really a fighter," and they don't realize until it's too late that you didn't put that 2 or 3 piece combination on them extra crispy. They realize it's too late.
I think people definitely used to think that about me. I hope, I like to believe that I've kind of squashed that stereotype about me, because obviously you don't make it to Olympics by being with a pretty face, you know what I mean? And what I've done in the pros, I think so far, I would think it'd be kind of dumb for someone just to think that I was a pretty face. So I don't know.
So how's it been, training, getting ready for a fight? I mean, obviously a big fight in NYC. You got all these holidays surrounding it. How was Thanksgiving for you?
What was the last part of that question?
Said, how was Thanksgiving for you? Was it tough not to, go overboard with the food, or how do you usually do it?
It's not too hard for me because I don't cut a ton of weight. I usually walk around at about 140. So for me to get down to 132 is not too big of a struggle. And I mean, I'm used to getting down to that weight and having to hold it for a week. So the fact that I only have to weigh in once and I get to weigh in the day before, I just started today with cutting down the food a little bit.
Nice. Very cool.
So I ate Thanksgiving dinner. That's what you're asking.
When might our fans get to see you do your thing live? Like we see on YouTube getting them out of there. When time are they gonna give my girl some live shine on one of these cards on ESPN so we can see instantly you getting your hand raised and stopping people?
Well, word is it should happen soon. I'm really happy with the way that Top Rank has been moving me, and we do suspect a televised fight in the very near future. So I'm excited for that. I don't mind the build-up. I don't want to be thrown on TV right away. I want people to be tuned in when I'm on that televised fight. So I'm just patient, and I'm going to build my fans as much as I can and make as big a statement as I can, so that when I do have that televised fight, I'll have everyone tuned in and watching.
Is there any goal for getting belts? Do you want to join your gal pal and fellow fighter Carissa Seals in that champions class and have some belts around you, or it's just gonna come when it comes? Or do you have like a deadline like 2018? I'm a strap around my waist.
No, I don't have a deadline because I don't know the course it exactly is going to take. I'm going to take one fight at a time, but obviously I want all those belts, and I want to fight all the top girls. I know that Katie Taylor is going up against Jessica McCaskill next month too, and I'm pretty 100% positive that Katie will take that belt from McCaskill because she just doesn't have the experience that Katie has, and from what I've seen, she's just not in her class at all. And then within the next year or so, I plan on getting a couple belts and then getting up there and getting that fight with Katie for sure.
What about Layla McCarter? Do you think she would come down to fight you? Because she's fighting all over in like multiple weight classes, big and small.
She might, but I'm gonna go down to 130 first. So I don't think she can make it down that way. I wanna go down to 130. I want to get the title there, and then move up to 135, and you take that as my next step. But I think the best step is going for 130, get the belt there. I think Katie's going for 135, and then eventually maybe we can unify those belts.
Oh, so you do got a game plan when it comes to the belt hunt.
I got a little bit of a game plan. I do want to take the 130 title first because it's not too hard for me to get to 132, you know. So a little bit of work, I can get down to 130, test myself there, and then move up the ranks. And I think that's a good, solid plan.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool to see, you know, excuse me, you know, fighters definitely having a little roadmap for where they want their career to go. Because it seems like there's some fighters out there that just go with the flow too much, and they're just like, you know, oh, whatever the promotions, you know, set up for me, oh, whatever, you know, my manager can get done. I mean, is that something that you've always, you know, envisioned, or is it just been, you know, like kind of a work in progress with your team as well?
I mean, it's definitely a work in progress because, like I said, I'm new to the pros still, and I didn't really give a shit about the pros. Yeah. I was all about the amateurs. That's where I thought the best talent was, and it was. And a lot of these girls are turned pro now. So now my eyes are tuned in, and I'm kind of I'm seeing where the talent is. But I still believe the best of the talent is for these Olympians coming out of the Olympics and coming into the pros. And as for letting my promoter help me make these decisions, I definitely feel like I'm with the best promoter in the world. So I know they've moved people right. They've made stars, and if a good fighter isn't moved properly, it could ruin their career. And you can have someone who turned pro who's not that skilled, and if you move properly, they can have a huge career. So it's really important the way you move a fighter. And but at the end of the day, I have to say, you know, I'm not going to let someone make me do anything stupid. I feel like I have a smart business mindset, so I feel like I know what's right, and we're just going to take these fights one at a time. But my goal will definitely be to get that 130 belt first, I think.
You talked about that you walk about 140. So what's your diet look like when you're not training? A lot of people ask me about that. Like, what do people like Mikaela Meyer eat when they're not fighting?
So that's why I say I don't really cut a lot of weight, because I don't binge. Like, I eat the same year round. I never like binge out and just go crazy, and then I'm like, oh man, I got a fight coming up, I really got to cut it down. I don't do that. I eat healthy year round. So it's not that hard for me to get down to weight when I need to.
Gotcha. And you know, we met about a year
and I never
ago. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying I never get above 141, really. So I don't think you'll see me fight in the 40s anytime soon.
We need to hang out with you then. You know, we met about a little bit over a year ago when you were sparring Ronda Rousey. Were you surprised with the outcome? And what type of skills do you think, has she started like boxing when she was like in her mid-20s, that she would have been a superior pugilist specialist, or she's got to the game a little too late?
Well, her specialty was in judo. She was a specialist, you know. It just wasn't in boxing. Boxing is not something that, I mean, every MMA fighter boxes, right? They have to have some hands, but that's just not something that you pick up over a year or 2 or 3 years, and then, you know, it's just something that takes many, many years of discipline and training. It's different. Boxing for MMA is very different than boxing for boxing, and I know that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a whole world of differences. You know, I mean, you got to worry about kicks and takedowns and all that kind of stuff, and your stances are completely different. I mean, I don't know. Heather
Hardy actually said it really good, because Heather crossed over into MMA, and she made a really, really smart statement afterwards, saying, like, for example, an MMA fighter can't really step in and commit to a jab because they have to worry about that front leg being kicked, or, you know, a wrestler taking you down. Whereas in boxing, you can really commit to your jab. You don't have to worry about stuff like that. So that's just a small example of how it's so completely different.
Yeah, your upcoming opponent fought Heather Hardy.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
she fought all the top girls, really.
Yeah, like you're saying, a lot of pro experience, but just watching her, I forget which fight it was that I was just last watching, but I don't know. It seems like there's a gap there between just watching some of your fights and watching hers. Seems like there's a speed difference there for sure. And obviously, I think your range is going to be able to be very effective here. So.
Yep. Well, that's definitely the goal with someone like me with the height and the reach is to always keep that space and distance. So that never changes.
Where you train at these days, Miss Meyer?
Well, I'm in Sacramento, but I'm training out of Stockton, which is only about 45 minutes away, with Gabe Flores, and his son is also with Top Rank. He's the youngest kid that Top Rank has signed, Gabe Flores Jr. So I'm really happy with them. They're an awesome family, and we get along really well. Coach Al is here, which has been my original coach since I got with him when I was 20. So he's here right now just watching my last 4 sparring sessions, making sure I'm keeping my hands up and developing the game plan because he's such a genius strategist. But, yeah, I got a good team. I feel good.
Is your girl Miss Shields going to show you some love in NYC?
No, she's not coming. I don't think. She hasn't told me anything. It's such a hard trip to make if you're not really to NYC. It's like kind of an expensive trip. You got the flight, you got the hotels, and then the tickets sold out really fast, so you got to scout for those. And I don't blame anyone if they didn't want to make the trip.
So where you go from this? So assuming you get the W, how big a deal is it to stay active, regardless if it's on TV or not? Because for someone that's starting their career, you're basically in there every 3 months. It seems like.
Yeah, I'd fight more. Honestly, I was supposed to fight Halloween, so that card just was completely canceled. So otherwise, I'd be going on my 4th fight. But that's the way I'm used to, and that's the way I like it, especially right now when I'm still only going 4 rounds. You know, I'm walking out of that ring. I'm not having to recover from any injuries or heal anything, so I have no problem fighting every month.
Wow, so you about that fight life for real. You about that life.
Yeah, what else am I going to do? If I'm not training for something, I'm just like, God, what the hell?
So what do you do when you're outside of the training? When you're outside of the gym, what do you do? You fire up Netflix, or you just get back? What do you do to relax outside of the gym?
Well, yeah, when I'm in camp, I do that a lot. I mean, I get up, go to my training sessions, come home. I'm big into cooking, so I cook all my meals. I live with my boyfriend and my 2 dogs too, so I'm not just cooking for me. It's just like a thing. And yeah, and then train. I watch my shows on Hulu. I do a lot of stuff outside. Got to get outside. I really need to be in the outdoors. So I'm big on that. And I travel a lot. You know, I'm always up and going places. I keeps me busy, keeps life exciting. But just right now, just in camp focused, and I leave on Sunday for New York.
I'm not trying to put you under pressure, but will your knockout come under uppercut? I saw your video of you throwing some vicious hooks with your trainer, Mr. Flores, and tearing up that bag.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm really working on the power shots now. It's different than Olympic style boxing. You don't really have when you're Olympic style boxing, you just know that you don't focus on a knockout. You got to score. You got to let your hands go. You got to throw in combinations. You got to out-punch your opponent. Now, I really feel like I could be knocking girls out because these gloves are so damn small. And with my speed and power, I just feel like it's something I can work on now. And I don't have to think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, fast combinations. I can think 1, 2, and then sit on a body shot. So it's just a different mindset and a different way of thinking and putting my combinations together.
Gotcha.
I like it. Fun.
Since you're out there in Sacramento, have you ventured by the Team Alpha Male gym that's owned by Uriah Faber and company?
Yeah, I go there all the time because my boyfriend trains out of there. He's made the transition from wrestling to MMA, so he's training out of Uriah's gym. I go over there and get some sparring or do the boxing class once in a while just to make things up. But, yeah, it's a nice gym. Everyone there is really cool.
Who's some people you spar with? Have you sparred with, Cynthia Calvillo or anybody like that?
No, I haven't. I sparred with some of the guys over there.
Hello?
Hi. Can
you hear us both?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, do you hear us?
Yes.
Wait.
All right.
good.
Ready to roll it?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Here, let's. All right. Am I doing an intro? Or you doing an intro?
That don't matter.
Go ahead.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Please welcome back to the Slip and Dip podcast. Once again, one of the best women boxers in the world, Mikaela. How's it feel to be getting ready to be on that big stage in NYC under the bright lights?
Hi. It feels great because obviously that's what I wanted when I turned pro. I wanted a bigger stage, and this is only my third fight, but I'm going to be on an awesome card at a historical theater with some amazing fighters. So I'm really excited to be in New York too, because New York boxing fans are the best.
Absolutely. So what do you know about your opponent? I see it's Nidia Feliciano.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know much about the girls that are pro in general. Like I'm still learning and figuring them all out. She is 9-8 with 3 draws. I think that's her record. So
that's correct.
Definitely more experience, more pro experience than my last few opponents. So it's a step up in that sense, which is what I feel like I need anyway. So really all I know about her.
Okay. I'll tell you this. I actually watched a couple of her fights before we did this episode today. And yeah, I think there's a little bit of a skill gap between you two. I'll just say that. So,
I mean, I definitely agree. Like I said before, you can't top the experience that you gain in the amateurs, the level I competed at. So, but I expect her to come and fight hard. There's one thing we learned: you don't underestimate anybody. So I expect her to come and fight hard for sure.
How big a deal is it to get another stoppage? Since you start turning pro, you've been getting girls out of there, or are you just content getting your hand raised?
No, I'm not content with getting my hand raised. I think that mindset left me in the amateurs. In the amateurs, you're content with getting your hand raised because there's not really a lot of knockouts. Your gloves are too pillowy and you have headgear on. So it's really a new mindset for me, and I like this mindset. Like, yeah, I want to keep getting stoppages. I want to end these fights, especially with girls that don't belong in there with me, or that I shouldn't be going the distance with.
Right.
Do you think they see you and they say, "Oh, she's just a model chick. She ain't really a fighter," and they don't realize until it's too late that you didn't put that 2 or 3 piece combination on them extra crispy. They realize it's too late.
I think people definitely used to think that about me. I hope, I like to believe that I've kind of squashed that stereotype about me, because obviously you don't make it to Olympics by being with a pretty face, you know what I mean? And what I've done in the pros, I think so far, I would think it'd be kind of dumb for someone just to think that I was a pretty face. So I don't know.
So how's it been, training,
Awesome. She's great. And she's a good person too.
Yeah, you can do with people cussing at you and threatening you all week, and you don't flinch until that cage door closed. You're a bad mama jamma.
Yeah, I mean, I understand when you there's obviously going to be a little shit talking when you go into fights like that, but I heard that Joanna was taking it to another level. Like Rose had to call security on her or something. She just kind of crossed the line a little bit behind the stages. So
yeah, Joanna always talks a lot of trash, but she only does it whenever, her opponent is giving it back. And Rose wasn't giving it back, but she kept trying to force it, and it just created this weird thing where it seemed like Joanna was trying too hard, and then, she came out looking like the bad guy that week, and of course Rose had to put it down.
Yeah. And then Rose ends the fight saying how this is martial arts, everyone, there's too much trash talking, this should be about honor and respect. And I kind of respected that statement, because that is where it originates from, that mindset.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then again, MMA.
Right. Yeah, definitely. It's one of those things, I guess. Did Rose ever catch you with that left hand while we all were sparring together?
Huh?
Did Rose catch you with that left hand while y'all were sparring together?
I can't remember, but if she did catch me, it wasn't that hard, because I would have remembered. But she's a good boxer. She's a good boxer, and she works hard. I mean, she trains really hard, and she has really well-rounded. I mean, she's really good on the ground, and then decent hands. And we all went in there, me and Jenny Fuchs, too. We all went in there and sparred her and just gave her rounds. And she just worked through until she was almost passed out. She just keeps going.
That's awesome. Have you heard anybody that shit talked to you a little too much, or they didn't think you were about that life that you had to go show them what Mikaela's all about?
Who, Rose?
No, anybody. I'm talking about anybody, any of your opponents or anybody in the boxing game that basically took it too far with the shit talking and stuff.
No, so far no one's really shit talked me all that much. I don't know. I guess it'll happen sooner or later, but so far no one's really called out. I don't know.
No, like you said, like with more fame comes more notoriety and more haters. So just stay tuned. I think you'll probably get some, but keep doing what you're doing.
I'm sure.
I mean, that's an indication you're doing something right if you start getting some more haters.
Yeah, so. I'm sure.
Absolutely. Oh.
Yeah.
Anything else?
A final question for me: with you being such a big card, do you learn anything from like the main event fighters, or just completely separate? Because as we know, that's going to be a high skill level fight just to be in those guys' presence.
Yeah, no, me and my two coaches, we were sitting here in my house the other day after training, just watching old Rigondeaux fights. Because we're just kind of like talking about who we think is going to pull that off, and there's just so many different factors that we know it's going to be a really high intense fight. So, and they both have that amateur background too, which I obviously respect. I think it's just you acquire so many skills when you fight at that level and in the amateur. So, I don't know who's going to win. I really don't know.
Yeah. No prediction out of you.
You don't think Lomachenko's size is going to be a little too much?
Well, I mean, if you look at Lomachenko's not that big anyway. Like, I know he's 2 weight classes lower. He's coming up from 2 weight classes, but I don't know. There's that, and he's a little younger. I know he's a little younger too. But I don't know. I've seen those Cubans in action, especially coming from the amateurs, so I just don't know. But I'm Team Lomachenko, obviously, because we are top ranked.
We are top ranked. do people in the boxing game or even in the MMA game come to you about finances? Because you're one of the few ladies that make money that's not in the octagon.
Wait, what? Wait, rephrase your question.
Do people come to you asking how you got lucky to get the breaks you got to make the money that you make? Because outside of UFC, it's hard for women to make money.
Oh yeah, I mean, no one's really. I mean, tons of people ask me like, "What do you feel about you being the first female at top rank?" But I mean, it's not like I feel like I had to seek that out too, because I know what it's like. I had a couple of promoters talk to me, and they didn't want to. They don't want to pay women a lot. They don't want to give signing bonuses. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. And Top Rank obviously took a chance on me, and they invested their money in me, and now they're investing their time in me. So it's a big deal. And it hasn't happened a lot. And I think that girls like me and Clarissa and Katie and stuff like that are the first ones kind of getting those deals. But it's a game changer for sure. And I hope in 4 years when girls like Ginny Fuse turn pro that they'll laugh at what I got. And they'll say, oh, my God, I can't believe you got that. That's nothing. Look what we're getting now. So I really hope that happens, because at the end of the day, we're still not getting paid anywhere near what the men are getting paid.
Yeah, that's true. There's always been that wide gap there, and I mean, you think you'll see, like in your career time, you'll see that gap start to close significantly, or is it just going to be, I mean,
yeah,
at least
if it's going to close, it's going to close in this next few years, for sure. And the girls that are pro now coming out of the Olympic world are going to do it. And if that doesn't do it, dude, if we can't do it, I don't know. I don't know if there's hope for women's boxing if we can't do it, because the girls that have crossed over now and are pro have serious talent. And if we're not the ones who are going to be able to close that gap and get the respect, I don't know. Yeah. But I don't believe we will. I really, truly believe we will. There's just no way we're not going to. It's going to happen. People want to see women fight. I don't care what anyone says. Everyone wants to see Ronda Rousey fight, right? Even if they hated Ronda Rousey, even if they hated women fighting, they all wanted to see her fight.
Yeah, that's true. Like, there were so many people that didn't like fighting watched her fights. She transcended I guess all of the stereotypes of fighting and everything like that. So, it'd be great
There's
to see it
people
happen
who
in
didn't.
boxing too.
She made like non-fighting fans become fighting fans. These were probably girls who are like, oh, I don't even know what UFC is. What's UFC? I want to look at it because there's girl Ronda Rousey everywhere. And now all of a sudden they're turning on the fights. Yeah. And that's what I hope to do. I hope to bring a new demographic to boxing, and hopefully turn people who would normally turn on the fights. Maybe now they will, because maybe they relate to me in some different way.
Absolutely. Oh. I hope you do it. I hope you do it. Keep racking up the W's, fighting 5-6 times a year like you said you want to do. It'll start coming.
So we gonna get you promised that you're gonna be back on here after you get that hand raised in the next week or two, in 2 weeks. Well, week and a half, I guess.
And we'll do Skype with 24 hours notice. No last minute Skype.
No doubt. We'll give you plenty of preparation time for sure.
Yeah, I need preparation time.
Well,
okay, but yeah, for sure. After the fight, we'll get on there and we'll talk the fight. I always want to hear people's opinion, see their evaluation on what goes down in there. So
beautiful. Well, thanks for joining us again for your second time on the Slip and Dip
Thank
podcast.
you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Looking for you to get another drop.
Yes. Keep it in your thoughts.
All right.